Hey everyone, Jamie Phillips, Action Auto Parts. So I'm back out where the Mustangs are at, and the guy he moved his truck and trailer so we could get in here. I was going to get Anthony to come, but he's got rollback problems, so we're going to at least try to get him out, and to where, depending on how much rain we get, at least maybe that if it dries up a little bit, Anthony can get off the road and grab them. But this truck here, I wanted to show you something, and I've talked to him about it. He's not really made up his mind yet. It's really hard to see, but there's the F-O-R-D. That's a factory, I guess, Ford flatbed. And I remembered the older gentleman that used to own all this before he passed, saying something about that. But it's a pretty cool old trucks. It's kind of rough, hoods rusted out, but still it's got some cool stuff to it. But that bed, I kept thinking, I know he said that was a Ford bed, and I got over here closer to it and finally could see the letters on it. But I think it's pretty cool that it's stamped Ford there in the there's the D, the R, and the F. But I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna wait on Lindsay to get back. I pulled my truck there over out of the way. He had hauled off some more scrap, he said, this morning, and so he's got to take, I think they're gonna pick this thing up Monday, but it's supposed to rain all weekend. I'll show you something that I found over here though. This piece was on the front bumper. It's got some standards where you can see, and that was hanging over one of those standards. And I know what it goes to. When Stanford had parking meters that were set in concrete, this sat on the sidewalk and then the pole came up. I ended up with about all the parking meters years ago. I guess I could go up there and give him a ride. I don't know if he wants to. I guess I could do that. We'll wrap this up. Anyway, I ended up with all the parking meters years ago, and so there was only like a couple of those. So I'll show that to him and see about getting it. Okay, so we're gonna try to grab this green one first and get it up somewhat close to the road. We still gotta leave some pathways empty for a little bit, and since it don't have no tires or wheels or nothing on the front, we're gonna get it closer. And then the blue one, we'll put it up probably behind it, but then it does get a little bit muddy. If I got to bring Betty out here, I could like Betty to it and snake it on up out of there. So we'll do some more on it here in just a second. Okay, so this 067 has fought us tooth and nail, where it is sunk down so much back there by those tree roots. And on the passenger side, it don't have a hub, but it's got the backing plate and the spindle sticking through it. And it was down in this root right there. And once he finally got it to pop loose, then it's decided to come on up. I kind of glanced there a minute ago as I was trying to shut the door, and I think it's a factory air car, which is kind of cool. But so, of course, like I was telling Lindsay, the body really is no good. I mean, other than maybe the roof skin or something, but it's got good glass all the way around and some good trim pieces and inside stuff. So that was, I told him, I said, don't worry about the body. So we finally got chain wrapped from both spindles, and he got it lifted up. But man, it was amazing when he was pulling on it. That probably 2 inches or so down in the root, that backing plate was in it. You can see it lifting up all the dirt and everything. And when it popped loose, it was like it jumped 4 foot in the air. So we're gonna try to get this one up here, like I said, closer to the road. I just hope nobody bothers the glass in it. But it's a track hoe. It's about all it wanted there for a minute. But I'll add on to it here when we get it up closer to the road. So we're getting it up here close to the road. I don't really look for Anthony to be able to come tonight if he's having air brake problems on his rollback. But if we do get a bunch of rain, at least this up here will dry out pretty quick, and he can get right off the road. The blacktop's right there, and be able to grab it. We got to figure out where to put the blue one. so that it won't block the driveway, because his family that's got the rest of the farm, they're kind of coming through here with their loaders and stuff to go back up on the hill. So we're gonna kind of leave that all open. He's getting it tilted up there pretty good now. I don't know if he's gonna be able to pull it much more or not, but that might be pretty good where it's at. That old wheel there ain't got but 2 loose lug nuts on it, and but it's been rolling the other side. It's froze up, but it's funny that that old tower's about to fall off of it and everything else. But anyway, it made it to there, and there's the road, so we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty, so it was sitting so close to the ground, we was able to get it over like a tie rod or 2 or something. We was just feeling blind back in there on it. Both of us laying on the ground and just running our hand back underneath of it, hoping no big snake was waiting to bite it. But it's at least broke loose pretty easy compared to the green one. We've got a little walnut tree over there to kind of maneuver out around, but get it on out there in that road a little bit more so we can get out around that walnut tree. And I think we'd be pretty good as long as nothing's rusted so bad underneath the front that it comes loose. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Of course, the front valance, there's the exhaust, was not going to be any good anyway. So I know we're tearing it up. But, you know, when they've set this long and sunk down in the dirt like that, you just got to do what you got to do. You can see how it's been sunk down there pretty good. Main thing is he's gotten that where we try to clear that little tree right there. So far so good. If whatever we've got it hooked to up front will hold on, then that'll be great. And I've been after this thing. I looked through my pictures, and it was 2 years back in January when I was here last, and thought that I'd had them bought, and we had to kind of redo the deal. So but it all worked out. Everything's always in God's time, not mine. So it took it a second there. We had to rehook it. At first it wasn't wanting to go, but then it did, and I dug out that old green light shade. It's bent up a little bit, but I'm gonna give him a few dollars for it, because it beats it getting scrapped. So far, I just pray that it stays. To me, it's a good sign that whatever we've hooked to is holding up so far. Of course, I won't know much about it till we get it back to the junkyard, farm, whatever, and try to get some other tires and wheels on it and get it up in the air. I mean, I'm sure the frame rails and stuff's going to be bad. I mean, it can't keep from it sitting that close to the ground for all those years. But nonetheless, we're getting it out of here. We get it up here somewhere close. Then whenever Anthony can come, at least he'll be able to get to him if it rains and stuff. So, pretty geeked and stoked at the same time to be able to get these out. Today's been a beautiful day, but they are calling for some pretty rough storms and possibility of quite a bit of rain over the weekend. So, and then they're going to come Monday and pick up this track hoe, or maybe excavator, whatever you want to call it. They're going to come and pick it up Monday from the rental place. So it was like, man, I got to get it done tonight. And he was going to be out here working, and of course part of the deal was he'd help me get them drug out. So at least they're not where they was sitting. Alrighty, so we got old Blue up here. Got me a green lampshade out of the pickings over there. But so at least if it rains and stuff, we can get it'll dry up pretty quick, because this is solid. We'll be able to get the back of the road back down here and grab that blue one. And of course the green one, we put it closer to the road so that where it don't have wheels on the front, it'd be easier to get. My only concern, and hopefully Anthony can come get it pretty quick. Is this car, all the glass is good in it, and a lot of good trim and stuff. And like I said, I think it's got, it was a factory air car because I see the vents in the dash. And of course, if the blue one's worth fixing, it needs a windshield, and that one's got one. So hopefully all that stuff will survive for a few days and we can get all this stuff moved. But I'm gonna head out. Our daughter and her husband, they closed on their house today, so we're gonna go down and look at the house. And so yeah, there we go. Please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will catch y'all in the next one.